Good morning. Very inspired again today, and I thought, why not do a video? Because I'm trying to work on something. Someone said to me very recently, someone close to me said, and they were having a discussion about original thought, and I thought, go on, let's have a little challenge here. Now, original thought, I think, is something that we try and lay claim to. And in some cases we get attached to. So I think we've got to be careful. But actually, if it's something that you are creating yourself, then you're much more likely to perhaps live up to it, shall we say? So I started off really thinking about what I'm doing here, what I'm trying to achieve, and I think a lot of it is to do with personal development. A lot of it is to do with the understanding of what I'm reading and trying to apply that stuff into my life so that I can be better than I used to be. But I think when you build something new, I think what I've discovered, and this original thought process started to spark in me, was, and again, let me just clear this one up straight away. Somebody else might have said it before, but actually, when you start sort of giving yourself little projects, then you can set up all the rules, and you can break a few if you need to. But generally speaking, it's your project. So when you start to build something, I thought, well, what do you need? What do you need to start building? And then it started to flow. So we start off, for me, with a strong foundation. Now, I've mentioned it in previous videos, and I think it's really important when you start to build on something or change something or try and adopt a new strategy or take on a new project, that it just doesn't fall apart or it doesn't sort of drift away. This idea of building stuff on pillars of sand, where it'll just over time it'll just get worn out and you'll get a little bit distracted or bored with it maybe. And you can apply that to any kind of projects, such as dieting, such as job change, relationship change, going to a new country, tidying up your garage, or your closet, or your paperwork. So you've got to build it, whatever it is, on a strong foundation. And so I came up with this further idea: what is a strong foundation, and how can I sustain this project and to take this into more of a lifestyle choice? And I thought, well, I need pillars. I need strong pillars to shore up this project of mine. And I came up with the idea of the pillars of peace. Now, somebody might have already used that, but I call that my original thought for the day. So the 4 pillars of peace is what I'm sort of thinking about now. For me, this is, and particularly around what I'm trying to discover about myself. So in terms of the 4 pillars of peace, the ones that I've come up with are forgiveness, love, openness, and self-worth. And there's a mnemonic for that, and it's FLOS. So we must all floss. Just a word from our sponsor there. To floss. So these 4 pillars of peace is what I'm thinking about. Now, when I talk about forgiveness, I'm talking about forgiving people's past indiscretions. I'm talking about forgiving the choices perhaps that you've made in the past, forgiving people who have maybe, in your opinion, wronged you, and looking at that and going, okay, well, why did they wrong you and what did they do? And maybe there was something going on in their life at the time that made them do that to you. Okay, so being a bit more sort of open in your response there. Forgiving yourself as well, and that's really important. and giving yourself a break. So that's a very rough guide, I think, what I'm trying to build on now around forgiveness. The next one is love, giving love, I think. I've said before, you can't give away what you don't have. And if you don't have love inside, you certainly can't give it to anyone else. So it's working on that inner love as well, and loving yourself, not in an odd way, but basically loving the fact that you are here and that you are trying to make a difference, and that you are valuable. Okay. And in terms of love, giving it out. So serving, trying to be helpful in any way you can, bringing this idea, this light to any darkness that you have in your life or in your environment. So love, I think, is really, really important. The O of FLOS is openness. Now, I've mentioned it before in some of these videos, but being open to different ideas is key for me. I think, I've talked about conformity, I've talked about being closed, I've talked about belief systems and how they can colour your whole life based on something that was perhaps handed to you. So being open to new advances in science, being open to new discussions, being open to people's perception of the world, being open to other people's situations, and being open to their point of view as well. So being open will allow you this feeling of peace. And then the final one, I suppose, is self-worth. It is to do with forgiveness. It is to do with love. It is to do with openness. But it kind of encapsulates what I'm trying to create with these 4 pillars. In terms of your self-worth, then you've got to believe. You really have to believe that what you're doing here is you're creating a self-image. Now, that's not to be saying that you're conceited or you're self-obsessed. It really is a case of, if you have worked enough on yourself and you feel valuable, you are going to create almost this outward glow, this confidence, in order to take that out into the world. So I think you've got to feel inside that you are worthwhile. You are here for a reason. You're here to do things that have already been, for me, assigned to you. You are here for a purpose. There are no mistakes. If we talk about the universe being a perfect place and we came from that perfect place, there are no mistakes. You are here to do something, and you need to be entirely equipped, or you need to equip yourself, the self, to be capable of completing that work. So I think in terms of self-worth, it's a big subject. In fact, all these 4 pillars of peace are. But it's just something that's really struck me and I'm really excited about. And I think it's something now, people want something to grab hold of when they start something. When they start a new project, or they feel as though they want to change in their life, there is this stripping away of what they thought, what they knew. There are lovely quotes about this. My sister and I get this one wrong all the time, and she knows what I'm talking about. It's a Mark Twain quote, but I won't try it because I still haven't got it straight in my head. But we feel vulnerable because we strip away what we thought we used to know, and we feel wobbly and go, well, if that's all wrong, or not, well, wrong is probably the wrong word, but if that's all handed to me, then I'm feeling vulnerable here, and where do I go? So in terms of the pillars of peace, we need something to hold on to, and we need to floss. So forgiveness, forgiving yourself and forgiving other people, their foibles and the things that they're doing, and trying to understand them and understand yourself. Love, you've got to give love out. One of the hardest things I've said before on one of my videos is one of the hardest things to do is give love in response to hate. but bringing that light into their darkness is what you're trying to do, but also, loving yourself as well. Being open, okay, openness, being open to new ideas, open to people's suggestions, open to people's troubles, and trying to be there for them as much as possible, whilst protecting yourself. Okay, so it's being open to the idea and not shut down, because you're just limiting yourself, and your self-worth. Making sure that the self-worth is intact, so that when you do find an opportunity to do some work for someone else or to help someone, then you're fully equipped. So great. Keep flossing. We'll build on these pillars of peace. And yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that.